Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. My name is Sadia Khan. I am assistant professor in Government Girls Degree College, Ekkaghund district, Mohmmand. I'm your English teacher. And dear students, as you know that all the institutions, including colleges and universities, are closed due to COVID-19. To cover this hurdle, higher education noticed all the colleges to bring you back to the mainstream of learning through distant learning. So today I will start from the point where we left in March 2020, and we will start our lecture today. This is my first online lecture which I recorded for you people, because online live class is not possible. So you can track me on JQ Khan space tech, all letters are small, in this link. Okay. My student, I'm specifically this lecture is for the BA students of second semester Springs 2020 Benazir Bhutto Shahid University. We have affiliation with them. So up till now in a class, in a regular classes, we have studied about formal and informal letter. Today my topic is about elements of letter. There are basically 8 elements of letter, of formal letter. In the continuation of this video, I will link another video soon in my next class. So today this video is about the formal letter. There are 8 elements in formal letter, namely sender address, date, receiver address, salutation, subject, body of the letter, complementary closing, and name or signature. So we will start and we will study in detail. I have chose a specimen of a letter for you people, which I will discuss at the end of the my lecture. This is the final letter, the specimen of a letter, but I will show bit by bit each element, dissect the letter in its part, and we will study all the parts in detail. So what was the first element of a letter? First element of a letter is the sender address. Mostly printed, it is on the top of the page, representing company name, address, phone, fax, and email number of all the sender of address. Sender, as it is known from its name, that the person who is sending the letter. So sender is sending, associated with the sending, and it is the address of the person who is sending this letter. So it is written on the left top of the page, and in this address all the detail of the sender is described. Okay ji. Second element of the letter is date. Date is the second element of the letter. Date should be written the way which I have mentioned here. For example, I given a date, a specific date, June 19, 2019. Now it should not be written in this form, that 19/6/2019 or 19/June 2019. It should be written in a specific, because it's a formal letter. So the month's name should be started with the capital word, as I have mentioned. So J of June is capital, then 19 is the date, then comma, and then year. And date comes specifically below the sender address in a letter. After sender address and date, there is receiver address. Receiver address come on the third place of a letter, or we can place it in a if ordering in numbers, we can place the receiver address in third number. Receiver address is the address of a person to whom you wrote or you are writing a letter, exactly specifying his name, location, and designation. For example, I have chosen a specimen, and you can see that James Smith is the name of a person to whom I am sending my letter, or the person who is sending his letter. So XYZ Corporation, Big Town, USA 21212, that is his address, and all the receiver address, all the specification of the receiver is placed here after the date. Okay, after the receiver address comes the salutation. Salutation is greeting. Whenever it a letter is a written form of a communication. So just like we meet each other and we greet each other, similarly in a written form in a letter we had to greet the person to whom we are writing our letter. So the salutation is usually done with the dear sir or dear ma'am, or respected sir or respected ma'am. If we know the gender, we will write the specific sir for male, ma'am for female, is obvious. But if we do not know the gender, so we can write it respected sir oblique ma'am. As in a specimen I have chosen for you, a dear Jim, salutation I have written here. After salutation come the subjects. That what is the subject of your letter? Subject is basically the main theme of a letter. For example, if it is a letter about demanding something from someone, so it can be written as a demand letter. That will be the subject of a letter. If it is an inquiry about something, inquiry, it will be inquiry letter. Subject will be inquiry letter. The example illustration which I have chosen for you here, the subject is to revise a vendor relationship with the XYZ Corporation. Now what is the vendor relationship with XYZ Corporation? You will come through the main body of the letter, but through this we know the basic theme, that what is the basic theme between the seller and the corporation, that the relation should be revised, or there is something like that. Then we comes to the main body of the letter. So the main body of the letter mainly consists of three parts: introduction, body, and introduction, body, and conclusion. In introduction, we introduces the issue that has been described, that will be described in the letter. In the body, we explain that introduction, and in the conclusion, we say what we want to say in that letter. That is conclusion. For example, in this letter, we introduction, I am writing today to further explore a wonder relationship with XYZ Corporation. So there is that is the introduction, that what is the letter going to be about. The body is, we understand that the XYZ Corporation can provide tools for 10% less than other competitors, and that focus on the service after the sale is amongst the best in the industry. That is the explanation of that introduction. Now the conclusion, now what we want, what the sender wants, that can be explained in a conclusion. Please call me at your earliest convenience to discuss a vendor relationship and to explore it if it can come mutual beneficial relationship. So the aim or the conclusion of the letter is that the sender wants a communication through telephone with the receiver. So that is the body of the letter. Now closing. If something is formal, as we say that is a formal letter, so things should be closed formally. Closing remarks are used to close your letter with the kind words according to the situation or the person to whom you are communicating with. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Sincerely, faithfully, obediently, all these words can be used as a closing word for closing a letter. At the end of the letter, we end up our letter with the element which is known as our name or a signature. Signature is used for the authentication or owning your letter, endorsement of the same duly written at the end of the letter. So we, after the closing, we do our signature and then write our name and then write the name of the company. So in this way we end up our letter. So basically there are 8 elements of a letter which we explained bit by bit. Now I will show you the full letter. You can see in this letter, the final letter, we first First of all, we have sender address, then we have a date, then we have receiver address, then we have salutation, then we have subject of the letter. The subject of the letter consists of three parts: introduction, main body, and its conclusion. Then we have properly closing of the letter, and at the end we have name and the signature. You can find many such letters on the internet by searching them, and you should practice all these then by yourself. Do write in a comment box of a lecture in case if something needs to be explained in more detail, or your feedback also enable me to deliver the next lecture in more efficient way. Students should subscribe the channel so next lecture will automatically be delivered to them. Thank you.